Hello, everyone, and welcome to Darth Matu's Holocron. I'm very happy to have you all here. Today is our first Friday on the new release schedule, and that means that today is video essays and other game stuff. I'll be tossing up the start of a playthrough in Conan Exiles later, but for now I wanted to talk to you all about Star Wars. This is primarily a Star Wars channel after all, and I figured what better way to kick off my first video essay than by talking about what Star Wars means to me. And to do that, I guess first you have to know a little about me. I grew up in a broken home. I won't go into too many details, but one of my first memories is of my mother trying to stab my father to death with a steak knife. It was that kind of environment. I was young, and there was just no real way for me to escape. So I found a way. I fled to stories. I learned to read by the time I was 4. And by the end of first grade, I had read most of the classics. Dracula, Frankenstein, Great Expectations, War of the Worlds. I didn't really care what story I was reading, I just wanted to read it all. And by doing that, I was able to escape into my mind, into the worlds these stories built there. I will never forget the first time I saw Star Wars. My uncle bought me a box set of the theatrical release, all 3 original movies. It was so incredible. I had seen movies before that, but it was the first movie I truly remember falling head over heels in love with. I mean, the music, the world, the characters, the story. It was magic. The Star Wars universe lived and breathed in ways no other story I had ever read or watched had. I was in. Whole kit and caboodle from the second I saw the first Imperial Star Destroyer. I watched those movies so much those tapes wore out. I still have them. Relics I cherish almost above any other possession. But that's just me. When the PT released, I was just old enough not to worry about the obvious flaws. And I was in again, all over. I loved them. Though my opinion has since grown and changed on them over the years. I didn't stumble into the EU for a while though, not until my teen years. My grandmother was the pillar I leaned on the most to get through life, and she knew how much I loved to read, how much I loved Star Wars. And so she found a book at the bookstore one day called Heir to the Empire, and she gave it to me. That book sat on my shelf for about 7 years. I read the jacket, I realized it wasn't a book about the movies, but an original story. And I won't lie, I kinda got put off by that. To me, that seemed like fanfic, and at the time, such things didn't interest me as much as they do now. But one day, I finally got bored enough to pull some books off the shelf. And my policy has always been, when in doubt, default to Star Wars. So I grabbed Heir to the Empire. And once again, I was immediately hooked. I had not expected the quality that is Heir to the Empire. It was a legitimately good Star Wars story. And better, in the front of the book was a list of all the other titles. There were so many, and I dove in wholeheartedly. The Star Wars EU got me through high school, and eventually I was able to leave home and start to improve my life. But my love for Star Wars never died. I've been, unfortunately, disappointed by the Disney content. I know some people love it, and I'm happy for them. But it's not my Star Wars. It never has been. When they wiped the EU, I realized the movies would be disconnected from it, and I was out. And times since then haven't exactly been easy for Legends fans. For the longest of times, there was simply no longer any way for me to talk Star Wars. People say it's the folks who didn't like the Disney films that are toxic. I have never been so ganged up on, so mistreated by fellow fans, as when I voiced my opinion on the sequels out loud around Disney fans. Before the sequels, the fandom was hardly uniform. Folks liked certain stories or characters more than others, or they disagreed about certain things. But it never used to feel so isolating. End of the day, we were all Star Wars fans, but under Disney, you were either on board or you're a target. And I abhor that fact. Star Wars has always been something which brought all kinds of people together. People from all walks of life, all kinds of beliefs. I mean, everybody loves Star Wars. It is literally famous across the globe. I have fallen into conversations about Star Wars with human beings that I never would have met otherwise, and that is a beautiful thing. Under Disney, this has stopped happening. If you like the old EU, you are out. And I couldn't take it anymore. It legitimately caused me stress. The community that I identified with mainly in my life was gone. Over time, though, I realized something. Star Wars doesn't belong to Disney. They may own the rights to make money off of it, but they don't have a way to monopolize ideas. Fans can and have always cared for Star Wars themselves, from the old hyperspace forums to some of the first conventions. How many hundreds of artists, musicians, writers, game designers, actors have worked on Star Wars projects for no other reason than that they love Star Wars? How many pieces of good fan fiction are there? How many incredible Star Wars paintings or fan films? As I grow older, this is something that I realize applies to most of life. Things only last if you care for them, and caring is an active process. So I reached out. I asked a question on Reddit. Where did the Legends community go? And it turned out it hadn't really gone away. We had been scattered, but not destroyed. Dozens of people answered, and out of those answers was born the Jedi Praxeum, a subreddit dedicated exclusively to Legends, but which is openly against bashing Disney. In fact, one of the first things we did was institute a high ground rule that prevents casual dismissal of Disney at all for all of our members. Our hope is to one day heal the divide that has been riven in the fandom. And we do this by not hating. We don't hate Disney. We acknowledge that there are people that enjoy those films, a whole generation of new fans. However, we do ignore it. There is no need for us to even acknowledge its existence. We have so many books and games and comics still. Our bookshelves remain full, our game systems primed. We can enjoy Star Wars the way we used to. And that's what we do. Since then, the subreddit has ballooned to over 2,000 people. The name is at the end of all my videos, and I'll make sure that I put it in the description. But the outpouring of love and passion for the old EU has been very humbling. It led directly to the creation of this channel, and the main sub-channel, the Jedi Praxeum, which I'll also link below. To see so many people come together, so many fan artists or content creators, has been so amazing. And even better, we've had many new folks, completely new to Legends, join the community. Folks who are coming to the stories and enjoying them for the first time. I'm starting to run on now, so I'm going to bring this to a close. I think at this point you can see what Star Wars means to me. But what I guess I really want to say is that Star Wars lives. The old EU never died. It breathes and is still loved to this day. We can celebrate the stories that we love still. We just have to find a way to come together and do it. Alright, enough out of my motor mouth. Have a good one, guys. Make sure you enjoy your weekend. And of course, may the Force break your chains.